Oddest last meal requests on death row. Capital punishment, execution, death row. Whatever you decide to call it, the death penalty continues to be a controversial topic in human rights. Over 60% of the world's population continue to live in countries that use the death penalty. While these policies are highly variable in their practices and morality, some countries allow for a final gesture of humanity in the form of a last meal request, giving the inmate a choice of almost anything sanely possible. And when anything goes, you get some very, very outlandish orders. In this video, we'll be showing the oddest last meal requests on death row. Are these orders absurd to you? Or maybe it's just us? You decide for yourself if you crave anything here. Watch until the end of the video. We have a strange story behind one of the most mundane meal requests on our list. So let's dive right in. Number 15. Gary Carl Simmons Jr. Murderer Gary Carl Simmons was executed in 2012 after having several weeks of calories in a single sitting. His long list of food items include 1 Pizza Hut medium super supreme deep dish pizza with double tomato sauce, onions, jalapeno peppers, mushrooms, pepperoni, Italian sausage, 3 cheeses, bell peppers, tomatoes, garlic, and olives, 10 packs of Parmesan, 10 packs of ranch dressing, a large bag of nacho cheese Doritos, 8 ounces of jalapeno nacho cheese, 4 ounces of sliced jalapeno peppers, 2 large strawberry milkshakes, 2 cherry cokes, a very large order of McDonald's fries with a helping of extra ketchup and mayo, and 2 pints of strawberry ice cream. The estimated calorie count totals to a staggering 29,000 calories and 2,000 grams of fat. Reportedly, he ate at least half of this meal, little over an hour before his execution. Maybe he was betting on a heart attack taking him first. Number 14. Andrew Chan and Muryan Sukumaran. In 2015, Andrew Chan and Muryan Sukumaran, ringleaders of the Bali Nine, were executed by firing squad for attempted smuggling of heroin out of Indonesia. While Indonesia normally did not have a policy for last meal requests, for whatever reason, officials granted their peculiar request for Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC is a popular brand in Indonesia, apparently popular enough to be something worth remembering before death. Number 13. Clarence Ray Allen. Clarence Ray Allen, executed 2006, was another criminal who asked for Kentucky Fried Chicken. In addition to that, Allen also ordered a buffalo steak, fry bread, sugar-free pecan pie, sugar-free black walnut ice cream, and whole milk. This is a meal where the inmate was known to have played with his food, as Allen reportedly let the ice cream thaw for about an hour before turning it into a milkshake using his hands. Wouldn't it have been easier to just order it as a milkshake in the first place? Number 12. Gerald Lee Mitchell. Executed in 2001 for murders committed 16 years before, Gerald Lee Mitchell had a less than balanced last meal. A bag of assorted Jolly Ranchers, not very fancy, but maybe there was some nostalgia in this choice. Number 11. Thomas J. Grasso. This next meal is a textbook case of the customer is always right. In 1995, Thomas J. Grasso was executed for a murder he committed in 1990. For his last meal, he asked for the following: 2 dozen steamed mussels, 2 dozen steamed clams, half a dozen barbecued spare ribs, a Burger King double cheeseburger, 2 strawberry milkshakes, half a pumpkin pie with whipped cream, diced strawberries, and last but not least, a 16-ounce can of spaghetti and meatballs. This in particular would be infamously associated with the case, as part of Grasso's last words were complaining that he specifically wanted SpaghettiOs and that he wanted the press to know this. Why don't you take it to the manager? Number 10. Victor Feger. Convicted murderer Victor Harry Feger made an extremely minimalist request before his 1963 execution: a single olive with a pit still in it. It was reported that he asked for this so that in the future an olive tree would eventually sprout from his grave as a symbol of peace. Keeping to this, he did not eat the pit of the olive, keeping it in one of his pockets, maybe to not damage the seed. Number 9. Odell Barnes. The case of Odell Barnes gained notoriety internationally in 2000 among anti-death penalty advocates, not helped in part due to his last meal request not being food at all, but rather the statement of justice, equality, and world peace. Whether or not he was guilty, this poetic moment did not deter executioners from going through with the deed. Number 8. Robert Anthony Buell. Unlike the last two requests, serial killer Robert Anthony Buell perhaps wanted nothing to do with peace or repentance, because his last meal request in 2002 was a single unpitted black olive. No olive trees to grow here, just one measly, perhaps salty, black olive. It makes you wonder why he would even ask for a meal in the first place. If you have to have an olive as your last meal, would you have it with or without the pit? Let us know in the comments below. Number 7. Joseph Mitchell Parsons. Joseph Mitchell Yogi Parsons was executed by lethal injection in 1999. His last meal request would be a fairly down-to-earth one: 3 Burger King Whoppers, 2 large orders of fries, a chocolate shake, chocolate chip ice cream, root beer, and a pack of grape Hubba Bubba bubble gum. Not exactly extravagant, is it? The evening before his death, Parsons watched a viewing of The Mummy and shared this meal with his brother and his cousin. His attorney claimed that Parsons chose Burger King specifically because their slogan, "Have it your way," was used by him as a reflection of taking control over his life at that moment. Have it your way indeed, I guess. Number 6. Philip Workman. Philip Ray Workman was convicted in 1982 for murdering a police officer. Decades later, in 2007, before his execution, Workman would spark a bit of a social movement that day with his altruistic last meal request: a large vegetarian pizza to be given to a homeless person instead of himself. Officials would deny this request, so Workman declined to eat anything. When word got out of this, the day of his execution, homeless shelters across Tennessee had received large donations of vegetarian pizzas from across the country to honor Workman's request, where the prison officials didn't. It certainly made Workman look better than them in that moment. Number 5. James Edward Smith. How strange this meal is depends on your beliefs on the afterlife. James Edward Smith was executed in 1984 for capital murder. A day before his execution, Smith requested for his last meal a lump of dirt, specifically Rayakunda dirt, a soil used in voodoo rituals. Smith believed this would have let his spirit move on to the afterlife and reincarnation. Unfortunately for him, dirt was not an approved food, so he had to settle for yogurt instead. Hopefully, he isn't haunting his execution chamber. Number 4. Ricky Ray Rector. Executed in 1992 for the murder of a police officer, Ricky Ray Rector had a fairly tame last meal of a steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and a slice of pecan pie. However, after having the first 3 items, Rector set aside the pecan pie and told the officer taking him away that he would be saving it for later. This off-kilter line is actually a point of controversy with this case, as it may have shown Rector had mental disability. Execution of the intellectually disabled would be outlawed by the U.S. Supreme Court 10 years later. Number 3. Lawrence Russell Brewer. This infamous order came from one Lawrence Russell Brewer, a white supremacist murderer that single-handedly changed Texas's last meal protocols with his unreasonable final request in 2011. Get a pen ready to write this order down. For his last meal, Brewer ordered 2 chicken fried steaks smothered in gravy with sliced onions, 1 triple meat bacon cheeseburger with fixings on the side, a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, a large bowl of fried okra with ketchup, 1 pound of barbecue with half a loaf of white bread, 3 fajitas with fixings, a meat lover's pizza, 3 root beers, 1 pint of Bluebell vanilla ice cream, and a slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts. This heart attack of a feast would have been excessive enough by sheer volume, but what makes this order audacious is that it was more likely made out of spite than any of Brewer's actual cravings, as when the prison staff brought everything as requested, Brewer refused to eat, claiming that he just wasn't hungry anymore. The absurd situation led to Texas abolishing last meal requests entirely, which, while justified, certainly ruined things for everyone else on the chopping block. Number 2. Peter J. Menial. Professional criminal and murderer Peter J. Menial was executed in 2004, but not before requesting one of the largest last meal requests in history, on par with Brewer's massive list. Menial would request the following items: 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, spaghetti with salt, half of a chocolate cake, half of a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, a small fruit cake, 2 Coca-Colas, 2 Pepsi-Colas, 2 root beers, and 2 glasses of orange juice. It's not known how much of this Menial was able to finish before his execution, but based on what previous entries have shown, he probably had lots of leftovers. It also seems a little excessive to have both Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, considering their similarities, but we won't question the soda connoisseurs about this. Number 1. George W. Barrett. This last item may not be the strangest order on the list, but the story behind it will end our video on a funny note. George W. Barrett, the first person in the U.S. to be hanged for murdering a federal agent, set for his last meal to be the biggest steak in town. Fairly normal, right? Well, similar to Lawrence Brewer, Barrett never ate his final meal. However, someone else did in his place. Immediately after Barrett's execution in 1936, a Star reporter passing through the jail's kitchen, Arthur Tiernan, saw Barrett's completely untouched steak and, not to let a perfectly good steak go to waste, promptly sat down and ate it. You have to wonder what happens to all the other leftovers that come out of death row. Do the prison staff take a few bites before tossing it all out, too? So there you have it. Hopefully, these absurd orders don't encourage you to commit murder, or at least consider what foods you value in life. We certainly wouldn't murder anyone just to get fast food. If you had to pick one of the meals from our list, which one would you take? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to explore more strange histories. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.